fellow Sambarians. So if you saw any of my stories yesterday on my Instagram, you would know we were up to no good yesterday. A lot of yesterdays. So this little brown hot dog here, it needs to go. And what we're doing is putting this on. Yeah. So we're going to be pulling the stock manifold off, putting on this header, and we're going to see how it sounds, and we're going to see how it runs. We did test on a 91, I think, supercharged Sambar truck last night, and I tell you what, that thing was screaming. Dude! And it didn't sound, it sounded tuned, it sounded great. It didn't sound like a raspy Honda Civic. I mean, it sounded really good. So I'm very curious to see what it's going to sound like on my non-aspirated Sambar van. And mainly just for tests, we're just going to see how it works, and if we lose any power, if we gain any power. There's been some talk about fouling plugs and losing power due to non-equal length header tubes. So, you know, people have done their tests, and we're just going to test it, and I mean, what's the worst going to happen? Ruin a spark plug? So, yeah, I mean, this isn't a very high performance vehicle, so I don't know, famous last words, I guess. So we're gonna put this header on and yeah, see how she sounds and how she does. So stick around. Okay, so I do apologize if it's hard to hear me. I have a heater in here right now blowing because it's freezing cold. So I'll try to talk loud. But what you're gonna need is a 12 mil and some extensions to get the old manifold off. So if your heat shield is still on, I have another video on how to remove the heat shield because your bolts are probably welded inside there due to age and corrosion. I actually bought a new shield with bolts, and the new shields are a little updated from the old shields because the old shields crack and all that nonsense. So I have a new shield inside just in case this header little test doesn't work out. I can put the old shield back on. But basically these bolts require either extracting or grinding off, and what I did was I ground them off to get the shield off, and then I used some vice grips and like PB Blaster or some kind of penetration lube, and got I think about all of them out except for two. I actually had to drill in the bolts and then use an extractor to back it out because they were pretty stuck in there. So and then I retapped the threads inside just to clean them up for the new bolts. But yeah, those will take a little bit of time. So if you have that off and everything's good to go, then basically the manifold's pretty easy. It's just 12 millimeter bolts. There's 4 up top and then 3 on the bottom. So if you're looking for a 4th one on the bottom, it's not there. Okay, so manifold was removed. I just got to take the O2 sensor out of it. But here's your exhaust manifold gasket, which is a shield as well. So this thing looks to be pretty good. I'll just kind of knock the carbon buildup off of it, but yeah, we're just gonna reuse it, and again, give her a test. Don't hurt to test it. So I'm gonna take the, because this header does have the hole, the bung there for the O2 sensor, so we're gonna put it back in. And yeah. The problem we were having on the test vehicle yesterday, man, that's hot, was the stock manifold gasket was not really letting it seat properly, so you can see some blow by, the black smoke getting past because it wasn't seating, the gasket wasn't sealing. So what I'm doing is I'm going around the spots that were leaking, and it's obviously it's because it's bulging too much, so it's hitting the bulge on the manifold, and they're just kind of hitting each other and not letting it go down. So I'm going to try to take a little bit off of the edges here, kind of round it a little better, so then hopefully it will seat properly and we won't get any exhaust leaks. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. Alright, all ground down, and all I basically did was kind of beveled the edges a little bit because they were too straight corners. Rounded them up so then they fit better with the stock manifold gasket, because I'd rather just work with making this work than try to make a gasket work, and if it doesn't end up testing out correctly, I'm not out a gasket. So yeah. Okay, so I took a little the air angle grinder, die grinder, like a buffing pad, and just buffed the surface, because we had black smoke from the test truck, and I want to make sure that if we get leaks on here, I'll be able to see new spots and not be confused with what was already on it, because we kind of want to make this work properly. So that gasket feels like it's seating correctly now. So let's get up on there. Happy with the angle. We were a little concerned on how it was going to work on the van from the truck, and looks good right now. So you can kind of get a 1/4 inch extension in there, slide it up in there, and then put the socket on, and then you can get it up in there. But this certainly beats most engines, where you have to basically remove the engine just to put a exhaust manifold on. So I'll take this any day. So when you start tightening on your manifold, start in the middle and then work your way out. And can't really tell you the torque. I'm just doing a good tightness, being that it's an exhaust manifold. I don't want to go too crazy. And it is going to need to be retightened after we drive it. It warms up and cools down. And I think it's always safe to put some high temp anti-seize on your O2 sensor, so Makes it a lot easier to get out, because those are usually fun to remove after. And that is like perfect angle and fit and everything. So let's getting everything tightened back up now. Alright, everything is hooked up. So I think I left the hanger and we're gonna mount it from here up to here, but I think I left that at Scott's last night. We were working there pretty late trying to get this thing all kind of buttoned up. But yeah, I think I got the manifold gasket situation fixed. I just ran the O2 sensor wire up underneath the plug wires. Let's give her a start and see how she sounds. I'm pretty happy with the way it sounds. It's kind of a little bit throaty and not all raspy. So we're gonna take it out on the road and see how she does. Okay, we just went for a fun little cruise around my block. It's very rural out here, so I was able to hit some good little straightaways. And I'll tell you what, I didn't feel any loss of power. It felt like it accelerated a lot quicker, up to 6,000 RPMs, and having the old manifold on. So if we didn't gain any power, I don't think we lost any power, but we're gonna see how she does with spark plugs. That I guess is a common failure with non-equal length headers. So we're gonna run it for a while, backing forth out of town for when I do my drop-offs at the post office, and we'll be checking stuff and seeing how she does. But I think she sounds great and she looks sick, and yeah, I'm super pumped. So we'll keep everyone updated. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys.